So on episode 4, which you're now welcomed to, this is episode 4 of Steve Neill's Garage. I neglected to shoot a beginning, and in fact, I didn't take all the stuff off my iPhone, so I have this big confusing mess, and I will try to sort it out and make this into a comprehensive, understandable video. Of all the things I did this week, it is now Sunday. I had a lovely day of flying yesterday. You're going to get to see me fly and all kinds of stuff like that. And I hadn't even been in the shower, I had breakfast or shaved yet. But here I am as I'm editing and having my second cup of tea with cream and sugar. Although I'm vegan, and so the cream is oat milk. I know, don't go there. It's all about my health, and my health is very good, thankfully. So this is the beginning of Steve Neill's Garage. At the end, confused? I know I am. So I brought the flying sub home. Today is Wednesday, and this was an absolute disaster. I messed this up so bad, and I don't usually, but I think we all do at one time or another. I'm trying to save it. What happened was I was at the studio, and I didn't have Tamiya tape, and I said, oh, the painter tape will be fine, and it all ran underneath and got all over the yellow. So I had to fix the yellow, which is okay. And now using the airbrush, I'm doing this just to show you that no matter who you are, no matter how skilled you think you are, no matter what tools you have, even the very best tools, everybody can screw up. And you shouldn't be afraid to admit it, and you shouldn't give up because you did. So another coat I can see I need right there. And this stuff dries literally, the Tamiya paint, but by the time I can get it on there, I'm using Tamiya tape this time, which I need to get some more of. And it shouldn't leak under because you press it down very tight, but the dusting is what really saves it. So we're going to take this tape off in a minute. So it's not bad. It's a pretty damn good save, I have to admit. I mean, if you see it in person, it ain't perfect, but I'll tell you something. All I have to do is go around, I found, with just the alcohol, the thinner for this paint will remove any place like up here that for some reason there's like dusting of it underneath. It'll just, if you just keep at it a while, it goes away. A little bit of touch up here and there and everything, and there's like that weird little line there. I don't know what that's from, but when it's sitting on its roost and lit up and everything, I mean, it's gonna be fine. Luckily, I did not screw the bottom up. The part you're not gonna see that much. Where is the hatch? Here's the hatch. So I can put that in now. The hatch, which goes like this. So that goes sideways, and then it turns and goes in there. So we get that in. It's a pretty good save. This line's a little weavy down here, and whereas this one's really straight and nice, and so is that one, and so is the one on the inside. This one's a little off, and I think, well, maybe I can go in there by hand and touch it up a little bit, but I got to be careful because sometimes you have to say, leave well enough alone. Doing stuff at this size is a big pain in the butt. So, this arrived all the way from Japan. I got to thank Mr. Yamamoto for sending this. No, it's not sealed in plastic. It has been opened. This kit has not been produced for 25 years, maybe longer. You can't expect someone who goes around finding old vintage kits to always find them unsealed. Most people who buy a model, they want to open it up and look inside. Then they never build it. He finds them, and he collects them, and then he puts them on Amazon, and somehow it got past the idiots in this country and got mailed here, which is amazing to me. And I know somebody will be mad at me for saying that, but let's face it, we paid the tariffs, okay? I paid $7 in shipping on this. So I think Mr. I think there's a different deal with Japan. I don't know. But it's here. It got here. When I opened it up, it was amazing because if I can do this with one hand. Yes, I can. I opened it up and this is what I found. Of course, the instructions are on the bottom. I found, there's the body. Right? There's the suspension chrome parts. They're undamaged decals. They're in perfect condition. This has, the back paper is a little yellow, but the decals look fine. And another thing that's amazing. Yeah, there's the staples. Classic Tamiya. These bags are stapled shut. They have not been opened. None of these bags have been opened. I love the tires. Dunlap Racing. And here's all the seat and some clear parts. The windscreen. The engine, dashboard. I forgot this was only a 4-cylinder. Typical Lotus. And of course, this car did so well. Did so well in its day. And it's so beautiful. And by comparison to modern day computer-driven F1 cars, which I find, sorry folks, boring. I mean, I've tried to watch the F1 races. It's not the same thing. I mean, look at that. This thing was beautiful. And yes, it was dangerous. And yes, you had to shift yourself and clutch and double clutch and toe and heel and basically know how to drive. So it's just from an era that's so amazing. I believe this is 1964. My dad and I were crazy about this car and crazy about the driver, Jimmy Clark, and I'm so glad I got this model. This is going to be one of our next builds, besides restoring my classic refit Enterprise, because that I built, I think, in 2004, and I'm refitting it. It's that old now, almost over 20 years. So that was really cool. Again, thank you, Mr. Yamamoto. I'm just so thrilled. The only thing that this kit's missing is the shrink wrapping. Who cares? So, moving on with what I do in my day-to-day life with my hobbies. This is the lineup of batteries for Saturday. I'm going flying. I'm going to fly that glider. I'm going to fly this beautiful Golden Era biplane I recently built and got one flight on so far. It figures that when I made a perfect landing on the maiden flight, it rolled and hit the only bush sticking up between a crack on the asphalt runway, which somebody needs to pull those weeds. It tipped it over, and as a result, it nosed over and broke its gear. All fixed now. So that's going to be flown, and the glider, and I have a lot of options. I have many more planes, but I'm going to fly my classic era Chaos, 60 size Chaos, which flies on these batteries here. And these batteries here are for the glider, and these are for the biplane. Yes, these tiny little 3-cell, or is this 2-cell? This is 2-cell. 2S 1300s fly that biplane and fly it very well, I might add. And that's a 3-cell 1300, just in case. So this is the charger. It's a smart charger, and I'm going to check and manage all these batteries. We always want to store them at 50% power. You don't want to leave them fully charged or undercharged. It's not healthy for them. And I've managed to keep a lot of these batteries a pretty long time, although some of them were in these, and these were submerged under the water in here that was up as high as the top of that table. Hard to believe. Anyway, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go over there. Over there. These guys are getting ready to race. Scratch built Scalextric. And what is that? You got it. A Lotus 25. So back over to here. We're going to get back to work on this. We're going to mask it off and airbrush the blue underneath here, and that pretty much finishes it off. I got to paint that silver. So I don't know. You guys might find this interesting. You might find it boring. I know Elliot will find it interesting. This is the smart battery charger. And this is a very good charger. I want to thank Mark Helmick for giving me this charger, because my other one was destroyed in the flood, and then I got another one, and then something happened to that, and he gave me this one, and I've been using this more than the big one that I have. It works really well. It automatically detects, although if it's not a smart battery, if it's a smart battery like one of these here, which matches their brand, it will immediately detect it and start charging it. It knows everything about that battery because it's a smart battery. These are not smart batteries. So what I have to do is go in here, and that's a LiPo battery I want to use. It did detect the 2 cells, but it didn't detect the right current. So what we're going to do is go up here, and we're going to select the right current. Here we are. Go back. And so we are 1300, we are 2S, and we're ready to charge. It's pretty easy. Start. And there it goes. And always, when charging batteries, never leave them unattended. I don't care what somebody who's allegedly an expert tells you. In fact, I almost got sued over this because some guy from some big company years ago, I was being foolish enough to tell people buying his products that you don't have to worry about these batteries. Just put them on charge and go to bed. And he woke up to his kitchen practically on fire one morning with a bloated battery that burst into flames. Anyway, never, turn your back on them. In fact, there's even pouches you can put these in while you charge, that if they do have a problem, But I just stay close to it as I'm working. I keep my eye on it. So after a little bit of research, I was pretty sure, because I actually had one of these actual screen-used flying subs back in, God, I guess that would have been 78. Actually had 2 of them that I was babysitting for a collector. One of them was kind of given to me, and then I later sold it. Wish I hadn't, but there it is. What I recalled that the bottom did not have this blue. It only had the hatch painted, which is great, because all I have to do is get these stripes here painted blue. That should be pretty easy. So there we go, all tidied up with Tamiya tape, and the only thing that's can get paint on it are these right here and this over here. So I'm going to do that, and that completes the submarine, although I am going to do a little bit of wet sanding on it and some polishing tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to try something. I've got this sort of mount thing for the camera here, and I'm going to pour some, you can see the model, and I'm going to show you how this airbrush works. I really got to remember to find the tripod for this, but you know how it is. You get obsessed with what you're doing and you don't think about such things. So I don't need a lot of this paint, just a little bit, and there's the airbrush right there, and I'm going to try this. Oh, how thrilling. The airbrush is not working. Now it's working. How weird. All I have to do is bump it. Okay, let's see. I've got gloves on, and very carefully I'm going to turn this, and I'm just going to dust it on ever so slightly, because by the time it's dusted on, it's already dry. Hopefully you're seeing some of this. You are. But what I'm going to do is end up getting blue down there. So I'm going to stop for a minute and protect this. That should do it. Okay, so turn this back on. That was really scary that the airbrush wasn't working. Nice thing about doing it this way is that we will not get any leakage under there, because as good as the Tamiya tape is, it's dry by the time it hits. And so there's no, and it's dusted on, so it can't really leak underneath. And I'm just seeing here where I forgot to press this down. So we'll just make sure that's pressed down this time. Should be okay. So that's painted rather well. So now we're going to get that edge there. Trying very much to avoid, oh, we got batteries charged already. And so you actually get to see me do something, sort of. And hopefully there'll be no leaking whatsoever. All right, battery charger, I'll get there. We'll let this dry for a little bit, and then we'll take it off. And that should be fine. So yes, that's gonna be great. And I love this airbrush. I just love it. All the fancy airbrushes I have in this $50 airbrush, which probably doesn't cost $50 anymore because I bought it a few years ago, you can get. So still on Amazon, and they work very well, and they clean very well. They're very well thought out. A tape removed, no leaks, very clean, very nice. It could have used a little bit more paint down that side, but a little bit. But you know, if I dare mess with that with a touch-up brush, it's not going to work out well. So I don't think it looks fine. I think we're done with that. We do have to paint this silver. That's it. Back from walking the dog. Oh, it's beautiful out here. You know, days like this, you don't want to do anything. It's you know, it's a beautiful world. Despite everything that's going on that I try not to pay attention to, especially at age 73. You know what? It's time to just kind of enjoy my life as much as possible, and this is part of that. So let's see, can we get a focus here? We can get a focus here. Okay, so these are the Weber carburetors. I know them well. I've had several cars that had them. In fact, my Alfa Romeo Veloce Spider had dual Webers. God, I love the noise they made. Anyway, I digress. So they give you this brass stitch part to put on here, which I put on. Focus, right? And then they give you focus. There you are. Oh, focus. It really doesn't want to. There we are. And they give you a little bag, and in the bag are these little guys here. Focus. Oh, okay, focus. So, and they're metal, and I've got to put them on here, which I'm going to use thin CA there on. So here we go. So the CA didn't seem to want to work. In fact, to get those to fit over those little nubs, I had to put some of that on it to get it to melt enough to get it to squeeze on to the little nub that's there. And it's crooked, so let's fix that. Boy, okay, that was nerve-wracking, but I did it, and you can see there's your dual Webers with their nice little metal Venturis, and man, those things, that looks incredible. I do want to run some spark plug wires in there and a couple of leads from the battery and stuff to really make it look like the real deal. Some of us who had these cars took this thing out. Yeah, it's the trunk. And the trunk goes in, like, where does it go? This way? Yeah, it goes this way. It's annoying. Makes it really hard to get to the engine. And so I'm debating whether or not I want it in there. A lot of people took their trunks out. Who needs a trunk when you drive a car like this? You know, you're basically going to be solo anyway, so throw your luggage in there. You don't want to lose a spare tire, though. Absolutely not. But yeah, a trunk, well, it made it really hard to get to the engine, as you can clearly see. I suppose you could take down the wall and you can still put stuff in the trunk as long as you put it in a plastic bag, because, you know, nothing leaks like an English sports car. Well, we're getting there, and it is getting late and dark. And after 6 o'clock, and boy, at this time of year, it goes quick. But you can get a good look at the engine in there. It really, really, Mr. Tamiya, you guys do an amazing job. You can see the battery over there. I need to put some leads on there. I got to put some, they don't call for it, but I'm going to have spark plug wires in there. And they're going to go over the top around the front of the Webers and down to the distributor, which is underneath the Webers. Makes it really easy to get to, doesn't it? And I mean, when they built these cars, I mean, it's like, okay, we want this car to look really cool, go really fast, and be really, really tight. And but God, if something breaks, it's so hard to get to it. And I remember that. God, it just, you know, you practically have to remove the Webers just to get to the distributor, which is underneath. I mean, you can get to it, I think, if you go underneath the car. Whatever. I'm getting tired. Fuel tanks are in. You can see them. Yeah. Tires, wheels are glued on now. They wanted me to do that. I just love the way these turn, and they turn this way too. And of course, nothing would do that these tires of this wheel over here, I mean, it is turning. But some glue leaked in there, and I just kept turning it and turning it and turning it before it could set up all the way, and it seems like it's going to work okay. I mean, how often are you going to roll these? This is not a kiddie toy, you know, but it is nice that it does that, you know. So I think the front ones turn too, don't they? Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Getting punchy. Oh yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. There you go. And it wants to turn, see? So anyway, pretty good progress for today. Considering I'm only back here a couple hours every day and I had to work on that. So that's going to be it for Thursday. Well, today I'm back at the shop. It's a lovely Friday. Yeah, this is where I used to do all my CGI and stuff, but now I do it at home. And this is still hanging in there. I did a little restoration on it not too long ago. I mean, there's just so much stuff to look at in here, and I keep getting rid of it more and more and more and hanging on to what I really care about. This one down here is, there we go. And you know what that is. In fact, if I turn on, there's too much to see in here, but if you, now you can see. Yeah. So, well, a lot of history in here. There's a figure I did of myself from Laser Blast. Of course, the Big E, Big Enterprise, the chair that I built all those years ago. And this, which I built from scratch all those years ago. In fact, I recently gave away all the molds. They were kind of in bad shape. I love this Klingon battle cruiser. This was a kit that was given to me, all resin. Over here is a big giant, or big Battlestar Galactica. I don't have the lights on in these, and the X-Wing. I guess I could light them up, I guess. Yes, you are looking at the laser blast gun right there. And that lights up too. It's still working. Of course, it's a replica. I mean, I built the original one. There's the little Battlestar down there, and this is the bigger one. And of course, an actual Battlestar Galactica gun. This isn't lighting up for some reason. There aren't too many of these around. You know what that is. It does light up though. So does this. So does this. All this stuff down here, Voyager. Voyager is quite lit up. Even the base lights up here. And let's see if I can get this lit up. And a lot of this stuff, you know, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here at the studio. I've been going on my 13th year being here. And there we go. Oh, and I love this model too, which also lights up and it's not lit up. I mean, everything's lit up on it. There's Voyager. She's always been a pretty ship. I wonder why that isn't lit up. So it wasn't lit up. It wasn't plugged in. And I love this version of the Viper because I really love the redo of Battlestar Galactica. I think it was much better than the original TV series, which I didn't like. And of course, that's Katie's ship, Starbuck. And here's her gun. Where's her gun? What'd I do? Where'd it go? Ah, I'm confused. I was just looking at the gun. Ah, here it is, over here. I showed it to you before, that's right. And it's her signature on it. It's an actual Battlestar gun. And you can see this is all lit up too. I can't remember, does this come off? It does. It's all lit up inside there. And the engines. But, you know, I'm spending a lot of time in here and I really need to get back out there. Martians attacks. These submarines are fully functional and diving. Radio controlled. So, because I know there's a lot of new people coming on this channel, and this I made years ago. I think before I made the Big E over here. Based on the original concept for the Enterprise. So there's, you know, the place is, it's thinner now. I got rid of a lot of stuff. Gary Lockwood, who used to come and hang out here a whole bunch. And, you know, just stuff, all the masks I used to make, well, not all of them. I sold off most of them, and the molds, they're all gone. And of course, he's not lit up either. That's because we're just kind of here doing stuff today. There we go. Yep. And yep, it's the whole thing. And you can tell by the way I'm aiming up at it that it's big. Everybody else has the B9 and Robbie. I built this from scratch. So anyway, back out here, I am working on the Enterprise. And I built this model as a submarine, which is why this bottom snaps off and on again. I'm hoping I have the botanical garden pieces for it still. I might have kept them. But this was a submarine. It was going to water. It had a pump jet back here. This came off, and there was a pump jet that, so it would turn right, turn left, go up and down. It was neutral buoyancy. And you've probably seen them before done. And then I never did put it in the water. And then it sat around for years, and it wasn't lit up correctly. It was all on 3 volt. And so I'm going through and stripping everything out. I've managed to get the top off pretty well. You can see the mess of wires and stuff. But I'm slowly but surely putting in more lights into it, and I'll show you some stuff lit up in a minute. Of course, I'm doing it the right way. And I have a proper, where is it? Adreno board for it. Somewhere. It disappeared. I hope it turns up because they're not cheap. It's here somewhere. And there's the board. It was hiding. So that goes in here too. So I'm going to hook up some of these and show you how they look. I already replaced the blues. I didn't even have strip lights when I built this. I don't even think they were in existence yet. I just replaced that light there, which is going to be the bright strobe. So the board's not hooked up, but I can't find the, it must be tired or something. You see that's going to be a very bright strobe, the way it's supposed to be. So that's cool. And I'm gonna hook this up in a minute. Boy, these are bright. Of course, that has to be the tints worn off there, so we're gonna fix that. So that's lit up. We know the strobe is lit up back here. It does close again. I just have to push it tight. Up here, we've got these two guys, which are really bright. And I forgot, I overlooked this one. Although it is lighting up somewhat, I need to put light in it. And then there's this here that has red in it. And you can just see there. I'm attempting to light this up. And by putting some light blocking down in there with tulip, and next week I'll see if that works out okay. But boy, these really, you can see the beam coming from them, so they're going to light up those spots of the Enterprise that you see in the movie. So this is looking very nice. Getting there, bit by bit. It's going to take a long time to restore this. The lighting inside here is working very well now. It was way too dim before, and now I've got the proper lighting in there. When I took it apart, a lot of stuff broke, you know, but that's part of the course. So that's all gonna light up just beautifully. So bit by bit, it'll be an Enterprise again. And that's the ring of lights in there that light up all that. I'm gonna do the same thing down here. I have a nice big roll of it. So now we're back home. I'm charging batteries. 98%. Why is there this halo around everything? Or maybe it's me. I'm back here at this table and I'm gonna fix the halo. The lens was dirty. So if you want to do something in modeling that really tests your patience, they're coming to take me away, ho ho. They're coming to take me away, ho ho. Hee hee ha ha. To the funny farm where I can enjoy myself making seat belts for a Lotus Europa. Yeah, they look pretty big on camera, don't they? Let's put something to give this perspective. Yeah. And so you have to cut those out. They're sticky backed. And you have to fit them through little tiny parts, like those little 4 parts you're seeing there. Not sure what those are for yet, but they weren't for the seat belts. They had very similar parts to the seat belt, and some of them were even smaller than that. And there were multiples of them. We'll see if I can show you. Yeah, look at that. See, there's a little handle here. I'll use a pointer. There's this little piece here, which is really tiny, and there's that little piece there. Then this little piece here with the hook on it that you have to feed these decals through, and then a stack of those. And you end up with these. I mean, the detail is fantastic. You might be wondering why I did 2-tone seat belts, you may ask. That's because I screwed up one. And I couldn't have all red. So I kind of like the 2-tone. In fact, I really like it. So there's name stickers I can put on too. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't think I'm going to do it at all. I just like the way it looks like that. So now we've got the seats in. You know, the wheels are glued on. And, the wheels are glued on. We got the pedals down here. And so after all that's done, and it is, what's left? Yeah, that's next. Tomorrow I'm going flying, so I don't know when that'll be. But this might be the last part of this video, not unless I do something on Sunday. So I'll leave it open till then. This is dry enough now that I think I can wet sand it and primer it again. Let it sit another 3 days. So, but this is why we do this. Isn't it fun? I think so. So here I am back at the Sepulveda Basin. where I learned to fly all those years ago, 1986. And I'm flying this today, but I'm also flying this. And I flew this, and it flew very well. It was the second flight. And it's all hand built. This was hand built too, but I flew this as a glider, and then eventually put a motor on it, and then have recently put landing gear on it, which turned out to be very successful. This is a very large airplane, over 100 and something inch wingspan. And then there's the Aquila glider that maybe we'll get some video of today, that I also built all from scratch, cut every part by hand. That was from a kid. And Mark there shot some video of the Sinbad, so maybe we'll get some on the glider too, maybe. Uh-oh.
Oh, a Sinbad? That's a Sinbad, right?
Apparently. Little what?
I don't know.
Uncontrollable?
As I recall, I saw the thing fly. Far left. Well, there's a button in the middle of the console. And it's a little red.
I'm going to shoot a landing, see how it goes, because I may need it a couple of times to do it. I'm setting up for a landing, gentlemen. Glad something is. I've landed this many times without gear. So I'll just pretend it doesn't have any gear. Yeah, all speed. Boy, that thing ground looped all over the place. That's terrible. I have 0 power. This thing flies great. And get it down low. Calm when it came out here. Dead calm. And then I got airborne, it got windy. For this, it got windy. So it's kind of a bumpy ride. It's like a barnstorm. Every thermal I hit, I go up 10 feet. Every one I go out of, I go down 10 feet. See that? Like it just knocks me around. I'd like to get it lower so you can see it, but I don't dare with the abruptness of the air quality. Yeah. Bring the throttle down and fight it. It's manageable, but the wind is funny. Really. It's like flying an indoor plane outside now. Landing! There. Thank you. That's easy. Whoa, 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 whoa! It's just too windy for this flight from the biplane. Well, considering how windy, it's not bad. On the runway. Off the runway. It was perfectly calm, and then it got... Slow pass. Got someone down the end of the runway. Sometimes it's nice just to sit here and take in the field. It's beautiful. It's not even maybe 73, and it's just beautiful. Been coming here for so many years, just for so many years. And it's nice just to look at your planes on the ground too and know you got them home in one piece. It's starting to get a little windy, so I move them back over here. They look so pretty underneath the tree. All your hard work, you know, which can go into pieces anytime, but in general, I do pretty well. We all do down here. You rarely see people go in, and if they do, it's because either one or two things: equipment failure or disorientation, which happens to you at any age. Planes get small when you get out there, and if you turn to the right and it just looks kind of like a cutout, a silhouette, you get confused, and in that quick second you can be in an angle of attack you don't want to be in, and the plane hits the ground. But usually you figure it out and you pull out. These guys are taxiing back their jets. There's Paul. He's been flying here for years. He's a great pilot, great spirited person. Really overall it's a nice group here. You can see the benches going all the way down there. It's a good sized field, probably one of the biggest in the country, and certainly one of the most busy and historic there is. Well, what a day. It was amazing going to the field, and thank you, Mark, for shooting all the video you did of the planes flying. Proof positive that the planes all flew well, and I didn't dork them, and it was a little windy with the little biplane, so the landing was a little rough, but there was no damage, no problems. So, I mean, that plane weighs, I think, 18 ounces, so it's a little over a pound, and it's a really light plane. So, but we're back here now, back at the track. It's definitely dark outside, and I always like to finish the day off with a little slot car time. So I got to get these lights I made lit up, and that little garage lights up too. But we're gonna watch this 2002 BMW that I raced with the Far Out Slot Car Club and did very well with it. This is a really nice car. These people make beautiful cars. I believe this isn't, no, this is, oh, geez. It's been a while. Revo slot. Yes, Revo slot. Metal frame, carbon fiber, suspension. Really nice rendition of the car. Beautiful paint job. These are the higher end slot cars, and they really are something. We are going to be back next week with more fun in Steve Neill's garage, and who knows what you're going to see